What's up, Bears fans? Mandatory Minicamp is underway as day one has come and gone. And I got some reactions, some takeaways we heard from a few people after practice today as well. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Obviously, a big talking point heading into this week was that left tackle position. What does it look like? Kiran Amegadjie, Ozzy Trapilo, both got times with the ones during OTAs. And by the way, I should note, Ben Johnson mentioned he's kind of viewing this week as an extension of OTAs. So this isn't like some crazy ramped up thing. But it is somewhat noteworthy that to start minicamp, Kiran Amegadjie did get the reps with the first team offense. Clay Harbor had this note today that Amegadjie was the starting left tackle. Up and down day, said he saw one probable sack, give it up to Montez Sweat. Said Trapilo had a solid day running with the twos. My guess, and we'll see, but is that Trapilo will work with the ones tomorrow. And then it kind of gets interesting what happens on Thursday, the third day, because the first 2 weeks of OTA is kind of the perfect storm from an outsider's perspective, right? Because the first week you only get media there one day. Amegadjie was working with the ones. Second week, media is only there for 1 day. Trapilo is working with the ones. Well, this week, 3 days of practice, you kind of get at least a somewhat clearer picture on kind of where things sit right now. So I would guess that Trapilo works with the ones tomorrow, and then we'll see on Thursday. And obviously, they got one more set of OTAs next week before breaking off for the summer. Ben Johnson talking about what he's looking for in that starting left tackle, and he had to say this. He said the number one job of an offensive tackle is to pass protect. You need to be able to block their best pass rusher one-on-one. So to me, that's the number one job. Everything we can get out of them in the run game is gravy on top of it. We got to find out who the best and most consistent pass protector is. I think when I'm just, and again, I'm not an expert, but I feel like I have decent enough knowledge when it comes to offensive line play. I think Kiran Amegadjie coming out of college, he, to me, looks better as a run blocker, like a physical specimen, right? Whereas Ozzy Trapilo, I think, is more tactical and more of a technician, has lighter feet. I think he projects better out as a pass protector. So, again, that's just my evaluation of them coming out of college. It can obviously change when we get to the NFL. Kiran probably has more overall tools if he were to reach his potential, but I think Trapilo's fundamentals are further along coming out of college than Kiran's were, and who knows? It's year 2 for Kiran in the NFL, so maybe he's fine-tuned those quite a bit. But I give Trapilo the edge as who I think is the better pure pass protector. Now, again, one guy's been in the NFL for an extra year, even though his rookie year was kind of a wonky injury mess. But I think in the end, Trapilo is going to have the advantage there. So I think as time goes on, I still would give him the edge over Amegadjie. Obviously, we've got to wait until Braxton Jones gets back as well. But that's just kind of my 2 cents on that situation. Okay, subscribe to the channel. Minicamp coverage all week long. We'll have 2 more practices. Tomorrow on Thursday, we'll have mandatory minicamp winners and losers at the end of the week as well. So a lot of content to come your way here on the channel. So subscribe. It is free. Okay. DJ Moore talked to the media for the first time, I think, all offseason, and, was peppered with a lot of different questions, but I just wanted to kind of get this quote in on when asked about Caleb Williams. He said, I see a lot of growth. You can tell he's on his A game every day because I know he probably gets it the most out of everybody because he's the quarterback. He wants to be perfect in himself, and the staff wants him to be perfect to lead this offense. I'd say in general, pretty quiet day around Caleb. There weren't a lot of tweets of he looked like this, he did that. Obviously, I'm not there. I'm just reacting to the information that we get out. So pretty quiet on that front. I don't think there's a ton to break down in terms of what it looked like on the field. The main thing I heard from on the field work today is it was windy as hell. Like the few videos I saw, you could hear the wind whipping. So, who knows how it actually looked out there. But DJ seems to think that Caleb is And I think we kind of saw this last week when we talked. Like, he sounds like a guy who's been in the league for a year now, right? Like, last year with the media, it was a little choppier, a lot more ums when he talks. And now you look at it, it's like, okay, he kind of has been around the block a little bit now. He's still a young guy. He's still got a lot to learn, but he's not a veteran, but he's not a rookie either. So sounds like he's attacking this thing the way he needs to, and that's a positive sign overall. Okay, more things to discuss when it comes to Bears mandatory minicamp. But first, we are sponsored by Prize Picks. Do you know ball? Are there any hoop heads out there? Well, there's only one series left in the playoffs, and the championship is on the line. That means time is running out for you to put your final takes to the test with Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Listen, this is it. There's only a few games left, and the way Prize Picks works is very simple. You pick more or less on two or more players in any given lineup and choose from different stats available: points, rebounds, assists, combo stats, three-pointers, steals, blocks, and a whole lot more. You can win up to 2,000 times your money on certain lineups. That means you could turn $10 into 20,000. You could also just do a lineup like this, a little three-player lineup, $10 to win 50, 5X on this one right here. I got the more on SGA, points, rebounds, and assists. I'll take the less with Halliburton, and then I got the more on Siakam points there. 10 to win 50 for the opening game here. And also take advantage of this deal. If you sign up using our link, prizepicks.com/CLNS, plug in our promo code CLNS. Once you play for $5, set any lineup, $5. Doesn't matter if you win or lose it. They're going to give you an additional $50 in your Prize Picks account to play with. That's code CLNS when you sign up and play for just $5. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Pick more, pick less. It's Prize Picks. Okay, let's talk DAndre Swift and the opportunity in front of him. He was kind of peppered with, did you expect him to draft a running back? There has been a lot of talk about you this offseason. I thought he was very level-headed and kind of just intense in how he spoke today. He seems very, very focused at the task at hand. And here's what he had to say about the upcoming season. He said, I'm being very critical about how I played last year. Excited about this year. Another opportunity, first and foremost. With everybody new, the coaching staff, the culture that has changed, you can tell Ben has done a hell of a job so far, day in and day out. And just regardless of what the question was, he was all business. I think he kind of recognizes, like, yeah, I put up some decent numbers last year, but I probably didn't have my best season, and they could have taken another running back. And hell, they probably did try to, but they've also spoken highly of me this offseason. I'm familiar with this head coach as a play caller, and I've got everything in front of me to reestablish myself as one of the better running backs in this league. Now, do I personally think that's going to happen? I don't know. I think he's certainly capable of being more consistent. We know he can hit the home run ball, but can he consistently do the dirty work, the things between the tackles? To me, that's what he has to prove. And I thought this was a pretty good endorsement from Ben Johnson, part of a larger quote. But he said, look, when the lights are bright, you know exactly what you're going to get when it comes to DAndre Swift. And that's been pretty consistent with Johnson's messaging around Swift all offseason. Like, they have not spoken about a player as if they don't like the player. Like, I think they're happy with Swift. Sure, they may have tried to get someone earlier in the draft to pair with Swift earlier than they did with Kyle Monungai in the 7th round, but I don't think they have viewed at any point this offseason, like, how do we get off of DAndre Swift? Like, they want him to be here. They think he can do some damage in this offense. Obviously, the offensive line additions should help that cause as well. I think they're full steam ahead. Bears, Swift, they're ready to go. So it's a big opportunity for him because no one would have faulted the Bears had they ended up getting an Ashton Genty or someone like that. So the chances are there for him to kind of reestablish himself and prove Ryan Poles right when he gave him that 3-year, $25 million contract last year. Okay, how confident are you in DAndre as RB1? Scale of 1 to 10. I go like 6.5, 7. I think we kind of know who he is. The question is can he be more? Can he be more consistent? Like, we know he's going to generate some big plays, but can you get that consistent down-to-down play, week in, week out play? Because that was a little all over the map last year. Okay, a surprise player emerging perhaps as, there were a few nuggets on this guy out of OTAs, and apparently that continued here. Note from Clay Harbor. Devin Duivere had another nice day, Harbor says. Every open practice we've seen, he's made plays, which again, it's only 3 practices to the media, 2 during OTAs, and then now this first one, a mandatory minicamp. And look, I've mentioned it because I've been asked about Tyler Scott and other guys on mailbag episodes we do. I think they like Devin Duivere. I think he is ahead of Tyler Scott right now. I think you got DJ, you got Rome. Obviously, Burden's safe, but since he hasn't been out there, guys like Duvernay have gotten more opportunities. Zacchaeus, and it sounds like Duvernay's taking advantage of those. I think the wide receiver room is going to be very competitive, especially after the first few guys. Not only are guys competing for spots on the roster, but they're competing for roles on this team. And earlier in Duvernay's career, it kind of felt like he was on the trajectory to, emerge as a pretty good slot receiver. In the last couple of years, he's really been just limited to special teams. Well, Ben Johnson, a guy who values slot receiver play and yards after the catch, Duvernay profiles to be that type of player. So he's going to get opportunities. Now, whether or not he earns a larger job than a Zacchaeus, a Tyler Scott, or hell, a Luther Burden, that remains to be seen, but he's going to get his chances, and it sounds like so far he is someone who's jumped off the screen a little bit. And then lastly, we kind of expected this based on what Ben Johnson said last week, but everyone was in attendance today. You would assume that would be the case the next couple of days as well. As Ben Johnson told the media, it is perfect attendance for all 91 players, but that doesn't mean everybody's practicing. There's still some guys sidelined with injuries. These 10 players were not seen on the practice field by various media members: Kyler Gordon, Terrell Smith, Eamon Ababamiga, TJ Edwards, Braxton Jones, although Zach Pearson had a note that Jones briefly was on the bike off to the side, so that could be a sign that he's trending in the right direction. Ryan Bates, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, Stephen Carlson, Zach Pickens. Now, we've known Loveland and Jones have been are not going to be ready until training camp. Burden still dealing with that soft tissue, as Sean Hammond points out. So is Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards. So, I would not expect them out there in the next couple of days. We'll see if any of them return next week for the final portion of OTAs or if they just hold them out until training camp. I would guess if there's any risk at all, the latter will take place. They'll just say, hey, just rehab and be ready to go for training camp. So that's where things sit right now on the injury front. I'm not sure about some of those other guys. I'm not sure what's going on with Zach Pickens, Terrell Smith. Those guys have been out the last couple of weeks as well. So we'll certainly keep an eye on that as the days and weeks progress. All right, guys, appreciate you. If you made it to the end of the video, that makes you a real one. If you want more Bears content tomorrow, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. My name is Harrison Graham. Bear down.